I've been hearing some weird clunking coming from my rear end. So today, we're gonna try to dig into that. I suspect it might be the trailing arms or their bushings, so I bought new ones. I really don't know exactly what it is though. So let's get the wheels off and see what we see. All right, giving this one the shake test. It's shaking pretty bad. And I think I know why. Here's your culprit right here. This and this. These are called lateral links or control arms or whatever you want to call them. And when I replaced them, I couldn't get the bolt out on this side, so I did not replace this forward one. So that thing is junk. And that's why this tire is so heavily worn, even though it's pretty much a brand new tire. So I have to figure out how to get this bolt out once and for all, so I can replace this lateral link. And unfortunately, that means dropping the subframe, which really sucks because that sway bar mount is kind of effed up. So I don't know, I guess there's nothing to it but to do it. While we're in here, we'll check the other side to see if we need to order more parts, but it looks like the other side is pretty good. And these trailing arms, they feel tight, so I don't think that's the problem. Yeah, I'm not noticing a lot of play in that trailing arm either. So what we're dealing with is this bolt that goes through the knuckle right here, and it gets seized. So in order to get this lateral link out of there, not only do you have to drop the subframe so you can get these bolts out of here, but you have to get this bolt out so you can remove this one. I don't know if it's a fantastic design, but it's what they came up with. So we're gonna have to figure out how to get that bolt out once and for all. And we're gonna have to replace that. But I think I can take the one off the other Camry, which I've been meaning to do anyway. And I jacked the car up. It's on jack stands right now, but I jacked it up under the subframe. I don't really like doing that because this jack has kind of like a small little pie plate on top of it, but we're safe for now because we got the jack stands in place. All right, here we have a host of goodies that might help us with this job. First of all, the lateral link, which I ordered years ago when I first did this job and didn't install. We got an impact extension and an impact swivel. It's going to be important. If we need it, we have the 3/4 inch Mac Tools breaker bar with 1/2 inch adapter. We got the torch because we are definitely going to heat that knuckle up. We have a brand new bolt and a brand old bolt, and of course a fire extinguisher, and then a spray bottle full of water because we're going to be near the gas tank, so I'm just going to spray everything down before I start heating anything down there. So let's get to work. Before we get out the 3/4 inch breaker bar, I get the 1/4 inch socket to take out this little 10 mil bolt that's holding this parking brake cable. I know this bolt's been out before, so that's why it's coming out easily, but I don't want to take a risk and break it. And that is that. I also sprayed everything down with peanut butter blaster. All right, so now that looks like a 17 right there. And it looks like we need a wrench on the other side. So we'll get to zipping. Honestly, the hardest part about this so far is just going back and forth, getting different tools in and out from underneath the car. But I think we're set for this one. Maybe not. What the hell? This is what you get when you try to do this crap one-handed. Oh, jeez. I'm not gonna put you guys on the tripod either because it's It's like, all right, hold on. All right, I did that one off camera. But the bolt is out, and I guess I might not have even needed the 17 mil because the nut does have this little tang on it for anti-spinning purposes. But now we can gain access to this end of this bolt right here. So that is really what we need. We are in close proximity to the gas tank. So before I start torching things down here, I'm just gonna kind of like wet things with this spray bottle of water, which is a different spray bottle than the other one, because the other one was junk. And now it's in the recycle bin. This is like the fuel filler neck up here. You know, we're just gonna get this nice and wet, just to prevent any possible problem bears. There's your fire extinguisher, and let's start heating. On this end, before we start cooking anything up, we're gonna take off this this lateral link, if it'll come off, because I don't want to destroy the bushing that's in there. And I thought I hit that with anti-seize the last time I was in there. I'm also trying to take this nut out up here, but the bolt is spinning. So I'm gonna have to hold that bolt and use the impact over here. But it's good the bolt is spinning because you don't want it to be seized in the subframe. Now what you'll notice about the end of the bolt is that it's in this like dipped washer. So if I try to put a ratchet and socket in there, this ratchet is too thick. So I gotta use kind of a more slimline ratchet, and then I can get on there and hold the bolt. And then hopefully I can zip this out. So let's see. That's gonna go up. All right, I don't know if I can do this on camera, so you're gonna have to trust me on this one. All right, now I can take this plate off, and then I can take this pig off, maybe. Wow, this thing. All right, let's back the bolt out a little bit. That can come off. I'm actually kind of surprised that this thing's seized on there. I thought I hit it hard with the anti-seize. Let's tap it a little bit and see what happens. All right, we'll hit it with some lube. And see if we can maybe pry it off. Oh. That is not a good thing. Why? Why won't you come off? All right, I didn't really think it was that stuck. I got a vice grip on the little steel sleeve, and now I'm kind of working it back and forth, and it should be ready to pop right off. Maybe with a little bit more pry bar. There you go. Good Lord. Wow. Come on, you mother effer. All right, more vice grip. I really think I did myself a favor with the anti-seize on this when I did the job before. So now that's out of the way, we can heat this side without worrying that we're gonna destroy that little control arm. So let's do that. I guess the idea is you gotta heat from the bottom because heat rises. I watched a video about how to do this job last night because I love watching Camry videos, and that's what the guy said. I forget the name of his channel. It was like Auto Fix or something, but he did a really great job about how to replace these lateral links. All right, I've been heating it for a while, so let's be optimistic and see if we can zip it out with the impact. And I think the chances of that happening are exactly 0. I'm gonna spray some water on the bolt to hopefully get it to contract. That should be good. I hope the Milwaukee is waterproof. The thing that kind of sucks about this is that with the trailing arm disconnected, this whole thing is pretty wobbly, but with it connected, you can't really get at the bolt. So let's see what we got. Just as I thought, it ain't gonna budge. Since the impact didn't work, I'm gonna try the 3/4 inch breaker bar, which is what worked on the other side when I did this job a couple years ago. Since the nut is off, it doesn't really matter what direction we turn the bolt. So I'm just gonna try to put as much force on it as I can. Oh, and I think it moved. All right, you guys look at the other end. I'm gonna reset this and then we can look at the other end together. Just to see if we're making any progress, I made a witness mark on the bolt. Oh, it's turning. That is good news. Really good news. This is the kind of thing you can run into sometimes that'll complicate this job, or any job. Can't get my socket off my adapter. So I gotta go in there and push that little pin down and then it'll come off. See that pin? It's nice and springy, but it's a little bit too high. Anyway, what do you want for 22 bucks on eBay? So now we're gonna try and just spin this thing to get it, you know, kind of loosened up to come out. All right, it looks like the bolt is stuck, but that's the least of our problems because we can, you know, we can take this whole thing out and then deal with it outside the car. So now we got to get the top of it off. All right, so what I'm hoping is that if I drop just this side of the, what's this called? The subframe, that I can get this bolt out and everything will be good in the universe. So let's see if that exists as a thing that we can do. All right, these are little baby 14 mil. So I set the impact on the lowest setting first. Now I'll take it up a notch. I don't want to, like, you know, totally kill these or anything. Yeah, that's how you do it. Now there's 2 more over there. One of them is obscured and the other one is not. All right, this don't want to fit. I'm not in love with 12-point sockets, so let's see if we can get this little 6-pointer in there. And that's a big negatory. So maybe we can get the 12-point to work. That does not want to go in there. Let's see if there's maybe another way to do it. All right. 14mm gear wrench and a piece of pipe to the rescue. And I don't know why the hell that thing's so tight. Must have been because I was inexperienced with the impact when I put all this back together last time. Probably zipped it in a little too hardcore. But it looks like we can get it out without too much fuss. And that means I don't have to dick around with this bracket. Maybe. Depends on where the sway bar feels like going. The sway bar doesn't want to get out of my way. Then I guess we might have to dick around with the bracket after all. All right, we got it out, and the sway bar is not going to be a problem. And now let's see what happens when we lower this subframe. Well, it didn't come down too far, but can we pry it down and get what we need? Honestly, I don't know. I think it's got a long ways to go. So we might have to drop it on the other side too, unfortunately. All right, I've spared you the indignity of dropping the other side of the subframe. Now we just got a little tangle here between the subframe and the sway bar and the lateral link. But as soon as we get that all out of the way, I think all this stuff can come out pretty easily. But I will tell you, if you're a beginner mechanic, you might not want to get involved in this job because it is a big project that involves a lot of moving pieces. And that's why I didn't do this one in the first place, because I was intimidated by it. But now we're in there. So let me pull this thing out. I'm gonna need two hands, sorry. All right, come out wherever you are. Mr. Bolty Bolterson, Mr. Lateral Link. So let's get this thing out into the daylight and we can see what we're up against. First of all, don't get your washer stack confused. Second, I guess that's stuck on the bolt, but I suspect it's not that badly stuck. So we got our vice grips on the inner sleeve of the bushing. We're gonna try and spin the bolt and see if it'll all come apart. Yeah, I didn't think that was gonna be too big of a deal. I said I didn't think that was gonna be too big of a deal. You wanna spin some more? Spin all day, damn it. Ow! Oh, don't do that. That hurts so bad, even though I have gloves on. So if it seems like I'm doing this stuff somewhat haphazardly, that's because I'm trying to find the balance between getting this job done quickly and making a video out of it too. So I'm doing a lot of things one-handed that I normally would do two-handed. And I'm probably getting some crappy shots that I could get better shots if I really took my time. But I don't know that I have the time or patience to do that. So if you like the video, thank you. And if you don't, my apologies. So now it's time to start putting all this crap back together. And this is how it came off. Big dumb washer, regular washer, lateral link, regular washer. And I'm gonna coat this bolt in anti-seize before I slide it in. All right, now we got a washer that goes on there. And now we should have another lateral link. Where did I put it? There's one that goes in here somewhere. All right, I guess these things are like directional. So this side is more of a swivel and this side is more of a not swivel. So the not swivel goes in the middle position. And I don't know, I guess while we have that other bolt out, we might as well anti-seize that too. All right, now you got your little platey platerson. And make sure you got a washer here and a washer here. And then we're gonna put these nuts on. And we don't tighten those yet. You gotta tighten them when there's a load on the suspension. Otherwise, your bushings will wear out too fast. This stuff's gonna get all over you. Not much you can do about it. But now, I've got the subframe jacked up a little bit. And so I'm gonna grab this, make sure I'm out of the way of everything that's important. And I am going to put the bolt in the hole. Now, I gotta be honest, considering how intimidated I was by this job when I first did it years ago, I really didn't think I was ever gonna do this side. I thought I was just gonna let it wobble and wear out tires for the rest of my life. But I'm really glad I tackled it, and it's interesting the difference in confidence you're gonna have after you've already done a job once, or after you've just been kind of working on your car for a while. So now we can send that bolt home, and I guess we can just put the other link on. And there you go. All right, that about does it for the subframe. I spared you the inconvenience of watching me bolting the whole thing back in. I'm tightening it with a hand wrench because I'm not super comfortable tightening things with the impact unless they're big old things like that. Also, check your workspace for spare parts. Then you'll realize that you forgot to put that washer up there where it belongs. My goodness. That looks better. Although our trailing arms weren't the problem, I bought new ones, so let's see if we can get this old bolt out. Because if it's stuck in the bushing, then forget it. I think that goes into the forget it file. That bolt's not coming out today, and I don't think the trailing arms are the problem anyway. So that'll be a project for another time. Or never. You want to tighten this stuff when the car's at ride height so it doesn't put like some kind of weird load on the bushings. So I have put jack stands underneath the knuckles to sort of simulate ride height. And the car's kind of up at an angle right now, but this is close enough, I think. Looks like we didn't exactly fix our water infiltration problem into the spare tire well. All right, I'm gonna see if I can get lucky and just zip the nut on without worrying about the bolt spinning. That's a negatory. All right, attempt number 2 with a little socket in there. All right, I should hold on to the impact tighter. All right, attempt number 3, holding impact tighter. I think that does it. I guess that's the catch-22. It's way easier to get to this stuff when you got the subframe dropped, but then you can't tighten it with the subframe dropped because you need the weight on the suspension. Let's see if this one cooperates though. A couple hours ago I wanted that bolt to spin, now I don't. All right, now I got a ratchet holding it on the other side, so let's see what happens. The ratchet fell off. I'm doing this one-handed though, so give me a break. Look at all the anti-seize on my hand. It never goes away. All right, the ratchet is wedged in, so let's give this one more shot. I don't know how tight that's supposed to be, but it's good enough. All right, we're almost done. We gotta tighten this trailing arm. Oh, should I leave that in? Take 2. All right, we're almost done. We gotta tighten this trailing arm. There, good and tight. And last but not least, this little 10mm bolt that holds the parking brake cable in place. And we are done. Give me my socket back. All right, the only thing that's left is to put the wheels back on and then figure out why the trunk's still leaking water, but that's for another day. So, no lie, the pain in the ass factor on this job is pretty high. Partially because it's disorienting to be lying under the car, partially because of the stuck bolts, partially because you have to drop the subframe, and in my case, it started raining and I didn't want to stop halfway through. So yeah, if you're gonna tackle this job, be prepared. You need a lot of different tools, a lot of different techniques. But on the other hand, if I took this to a mechanic to have him do it, I wouldn't even want to know how much they would charge, if they would do it at all. So hopefully that will solve my clunking. And if you notice, this rear tire, that's a pretty new tire. The tread is pretty good. The other one that had the totally worn out control arm, or lateral link, or whatever you call it, the tread, you know, that was a brand new tire a month or two ago. So now I'm probably gonna have this thing aligned, and that should solve our problem. So until the next time, thanks so much for watching.